Well, here is another short Farmall F20 update video, and this is stuff that's actually taken place over the last week or so, in and between and around times getting the block ready for primer and other pieces to be put back on. What I've been working on mainly is the stub axles. Now this one is still on, but I have removed the other side, and what this is right here, these holes is where the lug bolts go. The rear tires and rims of the tractor actually mount up right to the stub axle, and the axle passes through the frame, and then it's held in place by those two nuts and a tab washer. Now, like I said, that's one side. The other side here I have taken apart. I've done some cleaning, not a whole lot, but I've done some. Now the main part, this is the axle that goes through. The rim would mount up right here, and this is only, I'd say less than 1.5 feet long. It's pretty hefty and pretty heavy for its size, but it has to be to support what it has to support. Now this bearing is what it rides on. The large rollers there are probably 1/2 inch in diameter, and the smaller ones are probably 1/4 inch in diameter, and it slides right down there, and that's where it rides. Take it back off here. I've got to get all that old grease off of there. And then what we have here is a spacer. It would fit down on here like that, and what it does is it gives, as you can see, it's about 3/4 inch thick, and that's about the same thickness. And what it does is it gives the lug bolts will pass through these holes, and it'll give them a little bit of stability and a little bit of meat to hold on to them, to make them a little bit stronger to withstand some weight. Now this felt washer oil seal just lays in there like that, and then you have these two metal dust shields that go on there, and they would lay in here like this, and the whole thing would sit on the axle like that. Then you would slide it through the frame, and you would put on one nut, which is actually this nut right here, and it would go on first, and then you'd have this tab washer would go on next, and there's a keyway right there that this little tab in there fits into, and then the next nut goes on the outside, and you would tighten this nut down to where it's supposed to be, and then you would bend this side of the tab up, and that keeps the nut from turning and holds everything in place. But it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but I've got it taken apart, and like I said, part of it cleaned up. I've still got to clean up the bearing and the axle, but that's no big deal, and then I can put it back together. The reason I took them apart was that they were just absolutely caked with mud and dirt and anything else, and it's one of those pieces that it's impossible to clean properly when it's on the tractor, so you just about have to take it apart. But I guess the only other thing that I have to show here is a primered block. And I got home this afternoon, and I decided I'm just going to go out there and spray it. It's a little cool, but I think it'll be all right. I left the old head gasket on there. That way the head surface there didn't get a whole lot of paint on it. There might be a little bit, but I'll go ahead and brush that off before I put the head on anyway. But now as soon as that dries, then I can definitely start putting pieces together. But all in all, it's been not a whole lot accomplished, but I'm happy with it, and hopefully I can continue on and get this thing running sometime.